Quarantine Convos. Enjoy weekly discussions with people from around the world, assisting us in dealing with this normal, mentally, spiritually, and physically. We feature nutritionists, psychologists, therapists, personal trainers, home educators, legal experts, and more. Bring you all the information and inspiration you need. Check out Quarantine Convos every Thursday from 7 p.m. live on gotkushTV.
Electricity, gotkushTV exclusive. Free Quarantine Showcase is now available for you to watch. Absolutely free. In conjunction with Ghana, the Underreturn series, we have brought the African diaspora experience directly to you. To watch this monumental event absolutely free, simply register for membership at gotkushTV.com and you will receive access to electricity as well as more exclusive content, including Reggie Rockstone, Yusuf Jallo, DVN, Malaku Selassie, Danny Makes Dough, Hud, King Wiz, Tubada, Ras Ashiba, Mama Sia, Brother Leader Bandaka, Israel, Sister Moose, Carla Marie, Yemaya Sankofa, Boslo, and a special Voyage to Motherland Family special. All this and more, hosted by Nat Knight, instead of B. Register now at gotkushTV.com.
The Woman of Power Summit, a monumental event dedicated to profiling the work of African women around the world, past, present, and future, featuring Affiong El Affiong, Ronoku Rashidi, the Goddess Neith Knight, Tony Warner, Ari Ma'at, and Celine Ekigwe. To watch the Woman of Power Summit, simply register at gotkushTV.com for this and even more exclusive content. gotkushTV, we the power in Black media.
How to boost your immune system in the COVID-19 era. An illustrious panel of health professionals ready to guide you in maintaining optimum wellness in the midst of the global pandemic. Featuring Stephen Sali of the Mariandina Foundation, Ikong of How to Eat to Live, Leah Salmon, the Naturally You Coach, and Kensu Ayim Hotep of the Naturally Wholistic Wellness Group. To watch these powerful and life-affirming presentations, simply register at gotkushTV.com for this and even more exclusive content. You can watch this event through gotkushTV Premium. gotkushTV, champion wellness, our community. Black Lives Matter, Black Power, Reparation. It's the Jose, Leo Muhammad, and Jendai Serwa. Three the hard way in conversation about the connectivity and differences between these three movement building concepts and how we as a people move forward towards Black liberation and an African nation building. To watch this powerful and insightful breakdown, simply register now at gotkushTV.com to view this and more exclusive membership content. You can watch this event absolutely free. Register now at gotkushTV.com. gotkushTV, we put the power in Black media. 1 2 microphone check. 1 2. We are in the building, kings and queens. Yes. You done know. This is gotkushTV, your number one Black conscious media platform coming out of London, UK, and transmitting worldwide. You don't know. Oh my days, it's been a long time. I don't think we've done a quarantine convo since what, November, December last year, and it is most certainly the first time we are going live in the year that is referred to as 2020. 2021. So we want to say Afeshiapa, happy meeting of the new year in Tree to all our listeners, our regulars, and these things. All the newcomers, let the people them know, say, hey, what? Quarantine Convos is back right here now. We're there on gotkushTV. Send you the link. Like up the video as you come through. And make sure you check out gotkushTV.com. gotkushtv.com. Start to our mailing list. And right now, as you saw in the trailers, you can actually become a member of Got Kush TV, Kings and Queens. Get access to all of our past events. You know what I'm saying? You know, some of them you can watch absolutely free when you register, and some of them you have to pay a little fee. You know, see it, Kings and Queens, because like we have to pay and all these things. All right, family. We're here. It's Quarantine Convos for this year, and we've got some special editions of Quarantine Convos to develop on. However, as part of the changes and the developments that got Kush TV, it's not just my good-looking face that you're gonna see for Quarantine Convos on a weekly basis, Kings and Queens. And I know you're saying Shakara is so good-looking. How can we get? You know what I'm saying? What more do we need on the screen? Well, I'll tell you what we need, Kings and Queens, because I deal with balance in it. You know what I'm saying? So as good looking as I am, my good lookingness only makes sense when there is a complementary good lookingness to address Kings and Queens. And that complementary good lookingness comes in the form of the Black woman, the African woman. And so we are going to be speaking today. Our guest today and our co-host for all future editions of Quarantine Convos is a sister who is smiling face, you can see next to mine, and she goes by the name of Sister Mut. Greetings, Sister Mut.
Greetings. Thank you for the introduction.
It's a pleasure to have you with us, sister. Do you know what I'm saying? For those of you who have been paying attention and have attended a couple of the gotkushTV online events, you would have seen Sister Mut delivering at our introduction to the African alchemy of spirituality, and also during Blacktricity, that monumental event that we had in December of last year, connecting with the African diaspora through our connection with the nation of Ghana. The Osagyefo Kwame Nkrumah's vision, is still in train, Kings and Queens, and so we give thanks to Sister Mut for her contributions to all these things. I'm seeing that nobody has yet typed in the chat, and that's unusual. Normally when people come through for Quarantine Convos, on the map we know say you're there. You know what I'm saying? So we want to know who there and where you're there, and these things, and let us know that you can be hearing us very, very well. Normally we get some good quality control checks from our viewing audience. Right, Sister Mut. How are you, Sister Mut?
I'm okay. I'm very, very good, actually. Very good.
Good. Big up to Black Eyes TV in the chat. You don't know we're there. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man. And they're saying shout out to Sister Mut. You know what I'm saying? Black Eyes TV. So you got some fans in the house already, Sister Mut. So yes, family, you could do the same as Black Eyes TV and let us know that you're watching, that you're here, and all these things. Especially our international viewers, we want to know where you're there. Yeah, and don't let's say USA, we want to know the state and the city and all these things. Yeah. All right. So let's get into this, Sister Mut. Yeah. So obviously, as I've said, you're going to be joining us for Quarantine Convos, and for this edition of Quarantine Convos, because of what is happening in the world and more specifically in our community, we're going to be concentrating on health and wellness for Quarantine Convos. You know what I'm saying, for the foreseeable future. That's not to say that we won't have some shows that may not be necessarily directly related to health and wellness, although in reality everything that gotkushTV does is in relation to health and wellness. Or we're going to be looking at it from the psychological, you know what I'm saying, in terms of mental health, the physical in terms of physical health, and the spiritual in terms of spiritual health. And so just to begin with, why Sister Mut is kind of very well placed to be a host in this regard is that she works in this arena in general. So I want you to, Sister Mut, to let the audience know what you do. What is your area of expertise? You know what I'm saying? Where you come from, who you be, who are your family, well, you know what I'm saying? You know, we have to introduce it properly. You know what I
What's
mean?
my blood type?
Indeed, exactly. You know what I mean? A lot of these things. You know what I'm saying? You know? Yeah, you know. Yeah, yeah, man. You know,
Everything in an hour. Go.
yes. So yeah, go choose this.
Okay, you want to start. Okay, well, I'm a doula, which is a professional birthing partner. I'm a free birther, a woman who has chosen to have children with no midwife by choice. And I'm a relational evolution coach and a childbirth educator.
Right. Okay.
So, yeah.
All right. So explain this now, because many people may be familiar with the term doula. It might be new to some. What is a doula?
So doula is a woman that mothers the mother. So imagine, you know, in our indigenous environments, in our ancient traditions and cultural practices, we had women mothers around the woman, traditional midwives. Well, this is kind of the modern day version of it. So it's a way in which we can support women through childbirth. Statistically, where it's proven that the continuity of care, one of the reasons why we actually exist, there's a couple of things, two reasons, main reasons is one, because the medical system is not able to provide continuity of care. Yeah, you have 12-hour shifts and that's it. And the other side of it is also the death of the extended family. Like, we come in because a lot of people don't have extended family anymore, or their family are abroad, or their family are older, they're having their babies older, so their parents are older. So our role is like a mother and a sister, all in one.
That's beautiful. You know, I'm in the mind of one of my favorite films ever in life. It's a film by the name of Sankofa, as directed and written by Haile Gelima. Released in the 1990s, and there's a character in that film called Afriye, or Nunu, yeah, and she's like a well, I say elder. She's middle-aged, you know, a sister who was born on the continent, but that was her role. In fact, there's a scene, yeah, in the film whereby a group of runaways are caught, and one of them was pregnant, yeah, and there's punishment for running away, right? So this woman is literally whipped to death. And at a point whereby, you know, they weren't, the enslaved Africans on the plantation weren't able to save her life, but they wanted to save the life of the child. So they gathered around, yeah, the mother with their machetes to allow Nunu to step in and deliver the baby, but she had to do it through cesarean because obviously the mother can't push. Yeah, so that was her role. That she was the person who brought the children, and there's another thing where she talks about the fact that she's brought many babies. Yeah, I'm saying that to say the role, the function that you play, yeah, in our community has a lot of deep roots going back to the continent, but also when we were in the diaspora, even in the enslavement experience, these women, yeah, perform this function. I don't know if you have anything to say in relation to what I've just shared. If you do, feel free to.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we know enough about the function of these women, and they are still in existence. I mean, there are areas. I mean, it's becoming a thing that's being, I wouldn't say outlawed, but it's not getting the recognition that it needs to, and it's so important in rural areas. You've got the situation, like if we bring it fast forward to where we are at right now in quarantine, you've got women, middle-aged women, middle-class women, maybe middle-aged, yeah, but certainly middle-class women having it because they're in a rural setting. Right. And their hospitals are too far. They're having their babies in a free birthing way, right? Because they can't get to the hospitals. There's a COVID situation right now. We are in a situation. So our role becomes really, really important. And not only that, what statistics have shown is that the role of a doula, a woman who mothers the mother, shortens the labor period. A woman is less likely to have childbirth pain relief. There's less chance of cesarean section, less because of the continuity of care, less chances or less impact of postnatal depression. The bond with the baby is, you know, the care and the attention that's given. when you're the role that I play in this also has me support women who may not have had children before to help them mother. So supporting them to learn to be a mother in their own pregnancy before they're even a physical mother in so far as the baby is actually born, because parenting actually starts before the baby is actually born.
Certainly. I can say that, with a little bit of experience now, because before my son was born, when he was in the room, I used to talk to him a lot, sing to him, drum on his mum's belly and them kind of things there. And his mum always said that, because he knew who I was, yeah. When he came out the room, he already knew who I was because of my voice, and he's always really responded to resonating with my voice, because that's the only way that he could really interact with me. Obviously, mummy, he's all up in there, so there's all kinds of ways that he's interacting with mummy, but with me, it's through the just through touch with the belly and the voice and that kind of vibration. So that is extremely important. So give thanks for sharing that. I do want to in terms of the idea that doulas are being kind of outlawed, yeah. What is your opinion on the idea? Because I spoke to a midwife a couple years ago, and she's a community midwife, yeah. So she's an advocate. You've got midwives who advocate the doula tradition, right? Sister from I can't remember which island in the Caribbean, but she's advocating that a lot of doulas become qualified, yeah, as midwives, so as to withstand a lot of the attack against the tradition and the profession. What's your thoughts on that?
I think they're very two different entities. I find that as a doula, when I find that you can go into a hospital setting and the midwives there, or at home or a home birth, but you can go into any setting, and I can say from my personal experience, 9 times out of 10, after I've worked with a woman, the midwife speaks to me afterwards and says, how can I become a doula? So what's happened is that the midwives have often come in wanting to give the kind of service, the kind of care, the kind of support that a doula gives. Then they go into midwifery thinking that they're going to do that. Often they become disillusioned. Yes, they're in it now. It's a bit late. The programming, it's very, I was very close to going into midwifery, very, very close. Yeah, I had all the grades, I was ready to go, but it just didn't marry up. Yeah, it didn't make sense that statistically, the mortality rate of Black women, Black women in this current present day are 4 or 5 times more likely to die in childbirth. And these are the same kinds of statistics we're hearing in Africa about mortality. So how does that make sense? And to me, and what that has to do with is not having, it can be quite a situation. It has a lot to do with neglect that can come into the space, because you assume that a Black woman, she just can do it. Yeah, she's just got this innate ability to withstand pain. Litigation is an issue as well, because they see the counterpart as, oh, well, you know what, if we don't work with them, they're going to sue us. They may not. So it's culturally, it's a cultural thing. Yeah. So in answer to your question, yes, some doulas do go into midwifery, but you have to be able to stomach that environment, and the politics of that environment, and literally you have to undo what you know, and you have to compromise yourself and what you know as a doula to do it.
Right. Understood. So, we know that at the moment, and I know a number of women who have been pregnant and given birth in this period, of lockdown and isolation, pandemic and plandemic and all these things, and it's obviously very isolating, because nobody's out to visit. I know things where even the father of the child is not allowed to go to the hospital, or these kinds of things. So mothers are very isolated. Is there any advice that you would give? You know what I'm saying? Because you're a childbirth educator, so what kind of advice would you give to mothers who are trying to give birth at this time, with the challenges that are peculiar to this time?
Well, I think it's really important that a woman's rights is still upheld. during this time. I think if a woman, there are different situations that are going on where the father can't actually go in to a scan and and situations like that right now. And it's tricky, and it's also the bond between them and their relationship. What is really important right now is the bond that they have.
Right.
Because the structure of this current situation breaks down the family unit some more. If it was already tumultuous, it can easily add to it.
Right.
So I encourage the relationships. We do a lot of work when I'm working with couples. I talk about how we can support her, how they can support each other, what she needs. Because when she goes into the hospital and she gets a scan and she can't bring her other half to see the baby, there's something that's already happened there by breaking that bond. You understand what I mean? So he has to be there like a hero. Yeah. Be there to deal with that afterwards. Yeah, it's time. My whole method is about taking him from zero to hero. Yeah. And I'm not saying that because men don't have that skill set. It's like dormant. No, most men don't know or haven't been schooled in any way or given particular information or the subtle nuances of what it is like for a woman in pregnancy, so it's important for me to safeguard that and maintain the unit. And so I support them with that. I also make sure that women and the couple that they seek to ask the right questions. No question is a silly question when it comes to the baby that you're carrying. Yeah. Recognize that you can change your care provider even in the middle of labor. If you're not happy with the care that you're getting, you can change that. So often, and I'd say to any woman, I say a lot of things, and one of the things I say is that, and this is like free advice, but I would say, in the middle of actual labor, when a woman is having a contraction, make an important decision between yourself that no one speaks to her actually in the middle of a contraction. Because what's happening in the middle of labor is a woman is creating a rhythm. Yeah. And she's finding her own rhythm and her own method. So it's really important that she allows that rhythm is allowed to proceed without the interruption. The persistent interruption. Every time a contraction comes, somebody's asking her a question. So questions should come after a contraction comes, and that way allows the woman to be in a more competent mindset to answer the questions that she needs to answer.
Understood. Give thanks for that advice, my sister. There's a couple people coming in the chat. Let's say Yul Adama says they didn't just do the function for, I'm gonna say, the enslaved Africans, but for the masters. This is true. They also raised the masters' children, changing them over time to be more civil. But I don't know about that last one, but yeah, I agree. A lot of our enslaved ancestors did raise the children of but then some of those children grew up to enslave them. So yeah, I suppose that last part's debatable, but I do get the point that you're making.
But there's a valid point in that, because that was in that time that did go on. Obviously, the role where my role stops at a particular point, obviously, but I'm not. I do recognize that the influence that we are as doulas, the role that we play, assists the mother going forward, whether she breastfeeds well, those things matter and make a difference still.
Yeah, most definitely. Goes on to say doulas are seen as a type of witch in many cases. This is true. And goes on to say any non-Western medicine lady is seen that way. This is true, but this is partly because oftentimes the doula, in my humble estimation, was also a spiritualist. Yeah, she was also what you might call an obia woman. Yeah, and the obia woman or man often was also instrumental in enslavement uprisings, rebellions, that Bondong plantation and all these things, right? So yes, definitely they had a vested interest in demonizing the indigenous doula on the plantation. because oftentimes, that doula was responsible for raising and influencing some rebels and some warriors and all these things. So yeah, good point. Family, we're going to give you the opportunity to interact with Sister Mutz shortly. Yeah, so get your questions ready. We're going to be sharing the link in the chat, so you all can, I'm saying, feast on the wellspring and the positive energy and vibration of Sister Mutz. I'm saying, in her professions as a birthing doula, a childbirth educator, and a relational evolution coach. Yeah, do you know what I'm saying? Before we're gonna get into the relationship business, yeah, you know what I'm saying, because certain people are struggling right now to stay locked up in the house with them man and them woman, you know what I'm saying, for a year and can't go nowhere. You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna get you to give some advice, yeah, to the relationships that are struggling right about now. But I want to say, in terms of being a man and a father, in the birthing room, it's very interesting, yeah. Because you said that your job is to take the man then from being, what was it? Something to hero.
Zero to hero. Mm-hmm.
To hero, yeah. And I find that I don't think the birthing profession as the mainstream is desired to cater for fathers. Like, you're almost a non-entity. within, you know what I'm saying? Like, literally. I spoke to very few, like, we have some good midwives, so like in terms of in the actual room itself, yeah, some were better than others, but we had some good ones. So they're a bit more, and most of them were African as well. So there's a communal connection that you have sometimes. But most of the professionals that we met before were not. And so when you walk in as a father, it's like they don't expect you to be there. They don't know how to relate to you when you're in the room. So in relation to, and because I had certain conversations with my partner as well, going into this whole situation, there were certain things that I knew that I was able to communicate, yeah, to these midwives and other doctors whilst I was there, because me and her had spoken, so she didn't have to say certain things because I knew, right? But again, I'm not sure that they're used to that kind of a dynamic. So what advice do you have for fathers in relation to not just the birthing room, but the childbirthing experience in general? What kind of advice do you have for fathers?
Well, a man will naturally want to, in this environment, his initial instinct is to fix it. Yeah, fix the situation. Yeah, you're laughing. That's the last recognition.
Yes.
Yeah, fix this. Let's fix this. Yeah. This can be fixed. And this is not, again, but this is and that's fair, because that's the male mind. But you see, in the hospital setting, it's also very much masculinized as well. So what it is that a woman is coming into a hospital setting in a vulnerable place, in her most feminine, actually, in her entire life, really. Yeah. And so she's vulnerable, she's feminine, and she's powerful all in one. Yeah, she's about to deliver a being. There's power coming. And so it's recognizing the dynamics of that, not necessarily fixing it. It's about supporting her with what she wants to have. Like, when a woman is pregnant, a woman knows what kind of birth she wants. It's so crystal clear. Yeah. It's hard to get it often across to her partner how crystal clear it is for her. Yeah. And so he may or may not agree with what she wants to do. But I always explain it to a man that she's the team leader. Yeah. And we're part of the team. We take her lead. Yeah. If she wants to close the door, we close the door. If she wants to close her eyes, she closes her eyes. If she wants people to be quiet, we be quiet. Yeah. And we listen. Yeah. That becomes an art of listening, and really it's a very different state. It's a quiet space. It's allowing her to be present in that, and both of them be present. And also, one of the wonderful things that men can do is be more intimate with her, hug her, hold her, kiss her. Yeah, because all of those things create oxytocin.
When you use words like intimate, yeah, the man gone somewhere with it, you know what I'm saying? Him gone. So you have to use words like constant.
All right. Well, I'm not sure if we're after the watershed, but but I'll try to say it in the best way possible. Yeah, I will try to say it. So the thing is that there are a couple of things. Now, I would say this, in the final stages of pregnancy, let's go back a little bit. And intimacy is important. And the reason why intimacy is important, scientifically, guys.
Right. Scientifically.
No.
Right. Yes.
Are you ready? Are you ready for the jewels?
Go ahead.
Get a pen. Right. What happens is if a woman goes overdue, she will be given something called a prostaglandin, and it is a pessary that will go up inside her, and it will help to soften her cervix. Prostaglandins is contained in male sperm. Yes.
Same.
So actually, towards the end of pregnancy, I mean, I personally encourage intimacy of that nature to help soften her cervix, and help stretch her perineum, which is a fat that's needed. Nothing too vigorous now.
Indeed. Very careful. Very, very careful.
All right.
Yes.
But so that's in pregnancy. In labor now, the hormones that she needs, oxytocin, will help her womb to contract. Oxytocin is the love hormone. So if she's intimate with you, she's looking at your eyes, you're kissing, you're holding, you're also protecting yourselves in terms of the environment that you're in, because this is your bubble. And I always say to families, look, I'm here to support you and almost, if you like, gatekeep your union, if you like, because my job, when you're gone, when I'm gone, and when the midwives are gone, you're still a unit. So it's very important that they enjoy that experience prior at the latter stages of pregnancy, but also enjoy the early stages of labor where they can laugh. She's smiling at that point at the early stages. She stops smiling a little way down. So enjoy the early moments as well and engage with each other. I often come to a couple when I teach him enough to make him feel very, very comfortable in the very early stages of labor, so that it's empowering for him to have that time before someone else comes into the fold as well. And then when I come into the space, he may be doing a few hours. I give him the space to go and replenish. Maybe he wants to rest, wants to get something to eat. I help mum to get into a rhythm, and then I bring him back into the space. Understand what I'm saying?
Yes, give thanks for that. All right, so I'm throwing the man in call that advice, you know what I'm saying? So comforting, intimacy, and don't try to fix everything, do you know what I'm saying? So I want a man them hear all of that, not just the intimacy part, but even though that's it. You know what I'm saying? All right, kings and queens, we've got a question here. We're gonna get a little bit even more intimate, but I'm not even sure I fully understand this question, to be honest. It says, what is Sister Mott's views on vag swabbing newborn C-section babies' mouths? Now I'm trying to get the relationship between vag swabbing and
I think that person's talking about, often they swab for like thrush, because those kinds of things. But for me, I think if it's not necessary, if it's actually something, I mean, it's totally person's preference what they want to do. I never sort of say to someone, you mustn't, because I don't know someone else's pain threshold. Things can change, how she felt then and how she feels now. We have to roll with it. But in terms of swabbing babies, interfering, what I will say is the first hour of a baby's life is called the golden hour. It's the most important hour of the baby's life, and it should be maintained by the parents as much as possible. And that means others, myself included, need to step back in that time. If I'm in that space, I'll go and tidy up and all these kinds of wonderful things, or make some food or whatever it is in that time, for them to have a bit of time alone with the baby, get mum into just having the baby on her, skin to skin. That moment will be gone immediately after that. Yeah. So that golden hour is precious. So I am an advocate for that golden hour and very little interference in that time, if that can answer that question.
Yeah, thanks for that. I hope that did answer your question. If not, feel free to re-ask or come live with us in a few minutes and ask it yourself personally. I can say though, you know, when you said about it, she's going through all this stuff and you use the word power, yeah, I've never seen anything more powerful. And if you've as a man, if you've seen that process, when you're looking at a woman, I don't know how you see anything but the most powerful. Yeah, I've never experienced the feeling of power like that. You know what I'm saying? Other than like looking at my queen go through the child, so yeah, it's mad. I can't even describe it. It's levels. What's it called? Ewell says the hospital has no real hospitality. They can be very invasive. This is true. Molly Taylor says, love the doula concept. It's quite reassuring to have queens like Sister Mut. Give thanks for that. And she also says, ViceSwab is holistic. Very little info seems available. We'll send you a vid I obtained. Okay, cool. All right, we look forward to that.
Okay.
I'm saying, and we get Sister Mutt's thoughts in a future Quarantine Convos on that video. Nikema just saying knowledge. Yeah, she like it. She love it. She love the you know, she love the vibration. All right, Sister Mutt. So let's deal with this relational evolution. Yeah. What was it? Guide, expert,
coaching. Coaching.
Coach. Right.
Coaching.
What is that? What's that?
You know, I've been in personal development for as long as, so my consciousness, from coming into my consciousness when I was 21, yeah, I've probably been into personal development around the same time.
I was saying that was just last year though, right?
We tried it. Well, I don't like to, I wish. So a long time ago, yeah, and my oldest is 20, working out, and and so I suppose inside of my learning, one of the things I've learned many things about relationships. I'm actually in the middle of doing an African psychology, some African psychology studies on a course at the moment, which is fantastic, and really interesting in terms of its you know, the balance or what that looks like in terms of the Eurocentric view and the African view. But one thing I have learned, which I can share with you, that I've learned, I already knew, especially as somebody who's a doula, but I already knew, which is, you see, in our relationships, we often, the European mindset deals with object, transactional. You do something for me, I do something for you. There isn't a building situation going on really with them, yeah? And that's just the wiring, yeah? That's just the wiring. However, the Afro-centered mind deals with relationship. So let's give you an example. In the workplace, you might be considered difficult at work, and actually you're not actually necessarily difficult at work. If your boss, yeah, and your secretary ask you to do something, but the secretary you get along with better, you will prioritize your work according to the relationship. It's an African construct, yeah? So going back to relationships, even down to the bare minimum of relationships now, 4 things that we struggle to say, yeah? Please, sorry, thank you, and help, yeah? And so when it comes to relational evolution coaching, it's looking at all these different constructs that make up a relationship. Relationships can be ascended, they can be already in a great place, and it's about enhancing them. But you also have the low density relationships, which are the toxic relationships, where that object thinking, which is actually considered narcissism, yeah, thinking comes into play, and we have to, as a community, let that go. That's not ours, yeah? What we do need to look at is, okay, our relationships, what are they like? What are they built on? Yeah. You know, if you take away the intimacy, what do you actually have? Yeah. Because I know men and women struggle, that men more in particular. Yeah. It's okay to abstain inside of the relationship and work on things. It's okay to use intimacy as a meditation. Yeah. As a way to channel your purpose, a way to channel your vision and your direction with each other as a unit. Yeah. And plan. Yeah. So I look at the spectrum of relationships, whether it's the sexual aspect, the intimate aspect, the communication aspect, the family dynamic, the past. And of course, we have to look at, you know, the root, which is post-traumatic slave syndrome.
Right. Interesting. So in this time of, as I've said before, isolation and, you know, quarantine and all of these things, what kinds of issues, have you seen, you know, couples in our community having to deal with?
Well, I'll tell you what is actually prominent at the moment, and that's just across the board in probably lots of different countries, but certainly in the UK, is that from the first lockdown, domestic violence and domestic abuse went up 25%.
Oh, wow. I did not. That's interesting.
So you have to understand that people are like ticking time bombs in their households at the moment, some people. Yeah. If it wasn't going well before, it's not likely to go well. So my thing is about, let's interrupt that pattern, because again, whatever this is, let's interrupt it. And put something positive in that. So I think communication often is a tricky one as it is. And I think during this time, it's communicating. It can be so intense, depending on what's happening in the news today. Yeah, it's very intense. So it's very important for families to communicate from a new place, a place where they can assist each other to grow. In something, taking up a new skill together, looking at hobbies or things, you know, art, looking at therapy together in terms of like starting to enjoy new things together and introducing themselves to get each other all over again. Because relationships right now can be quite, you know, there's a lot of relationship splits. This kind of time is either going to make your relationship or break it. Yeah. And so you're going to see what your relationship is actually made of. The good news is, though, that this is an excellent time to be in a relationship. Because if you're, or even start a new relationship, because the nature of people right now is there's an awakened mind right now. Yeah. So you're going to know, everybody says it, and I experienced it too, like the lockdown, the original first lockdown, everybody was like, wow, this is a revelation. Like you really find out who's who in this lockdowns. Yeah. Like there's no hiding as to who's who. And it's the same as your relationship, it's exposed. Yeah. So you get to see the strengths and weaknesses of your relationship in this time too.
All right. I was thinking while you were speaking, because I was just looking for the book, but I cannot locate it immediately. There's a lot of books on the bookshelf, but there's a brother by the name of Luke Daniels who's written a book called Pulling the Punches, and he does counseling for men who are either perpetrators or potential perpetrators of domestic violence. It's a perspective that is, you know, often not explored, but it may be an idea to try and get him on the show, because we are dealing with health and wellness. You know what I'm saying? So I'll look into the possibility of getting the brother on Quarantine Convos, because obviously and apparently I've heard a story about him where he was surprised at the amount of men, black men in particular, that came to him seeking his services. And these are men that are not yet perpetrators. Some of them are just potential. They feel like they may have the capacity to, you know, to pop in that kind of way. And so they're seeking help even prior to, you know, having committed the offense. So that's an interesting thing to explore right there. So you know what I mean? So yeah, man. So yeah, we'll see if we can make that happen. All right, kings and queens, we are speaking to Sister Mut, yeah, who is a childbirth educator, a holistic doula, and a relational evolution coach. She is here as our first guest during 2020 for Quarantine Convos, because she is going to be she is the co-host, yeah, of Quarantine Convos from here on out. So we're just using this opportunity to allow you to get to know her and introduce her to you all. We are giving you a further opportunity right about now, because we are going to post the link in the chat. Yeah, in fact, the link is in the chat. All right. So if you'd like to come live and speak to Sister Mut or speak to Shakara or just big up gotkushTV, feel free to do so. The link is in the chat, kings and queens. The link is in the chat. You can come live with Sister Mut. And we're gonna, for those who were not here at the beginning, we're gonna take a minute right about now just to share some of the good stuff that you can get when you register on gotkushTV.com right about now, kings and queens, and just drop, you know what I'm saying, give you some of the things that you get when you become a member at gotkushTV. So do stay tuned. We'll be back after these messages. Blacktricity, gotkushTV's exclusive pre-Kwanzaa showcase is now available for you to watch absolutely free. In conjunction with Ghana, the On the Return series, we have brought the African diaspora experience directly to you. To watch this monumental event absolutely free, simply register for membership at gotkushTV.com and you will receive access to Blacktricity as well as more exclusive content, including Reggie Rockstone, Yusufu Jallo, VVN, Malachi Selassie, Daddy Makes Dough, Tods, King Wiz, Tubada, Ras Ashiba, Mama Sia, Brother Leader Bandaka, Israel, Sister Moot, Carla Marie, Yemaya Sankofa, Goldflow, and a special Voyage to Motherland panel discussion. All this and more, hosted by Nat Nai and Stella B. Register now at gotkushTV.com. Black Lives Matter, Black Power, Reparations, featuring Esther Stanford Jose, Leo Muhammad, and Jendai Serwa. 3 the hard way in conversation about the connectivity and differences between these 3 movement building concepts and how we as a people move forward towards Black liberation and Pan-African nation building. To watch this powerful and insightful breakdown, simply register now at gotkushTV.com to view this and more exclusive membership content. You can watch this event absolutely free. Register now at gotkushTV.com. gotkushTV, we put the power in Black media.
The Woman of Power Summit, a monumental event dedicated to profiling the work of African women around the world, past, present, and future, featuring Affiong El Affiong, Ronoku Rashidi, the Goddess Neith Knight, Tony Warner, Ari Ma'at, and Celine Akigwe. To watch the Woman of Power Summit, simply register at gotkushTV.com for this and even more exclusive content. GotkushTV, we put the power in Black media.
How to boost your immune system in the COVID-19 era. An illustrious panel of health professionals ready to guide you in maintaining optimum wellness in the midst of the global pandemic. Featuring Stephen Sali of the Mariandina Foundation, Ikong of How to Eat to Live, Leah Salmon, the Naturally You Coach, and Kensu Ayim Hotep of the Naturally Wholistic Wellness Group. To watch these powerful and life-affirming presentations, simply register at gotkushTV.com for this and even more exclusive content. You can watch this event through gotkushTV Premium. gotkushTV, championing the wellness of our community.
Quarantine Convos. Enjoy weekly discussions with people from around the world, assisting us in dealing with this normal, mentally, spiritually, and physically. We feature nutritionists, psychologists, therapists, personal trainers, home educators, legal experts, and more, bringing you all the information and inspiration you need. Check out Quarantine Convos every Thursday from 7 p.m, live on gotkushTV.
All right, kings and queens, you can check all of that out at gotkushTV.com. Hit the membership tab on the home page and you will be able to register to become a GotKushTV member and experience all of that good content, yeah? and more to come. It's going to be a major, massive year. We have been speaking to Sister Mutt, the new co-host of Quarantine Convos. I'm going to bring her back in now. And she is a holistic doula, a childbirth educator, and a relational evolution coach, kings and queens. And so we are giving you all the opportunity to come through. The link is in the chat and interact with myself and Sister Mutt for the next 30 minutes or so, you know what I'm saying, as we bring back Quarantine Convos, yeah, for you this year. You know, so we created Quarantine Convos to basically keep the African diaspora connected, yeah, in the midst of the lockdown and the isolation and all of these things, you know what I'm saying? And so, like everybody, we had to adjust, readjust, and realign and reattune, you know what I'm saying, to the challenges of the time. And so we hope that all of you, you know what I'm saying, are doing well in your endeavors and your realignments and all these things. And yeah, Sister Mo, let me ask you that question. Whilst we are inviting brothers and sisters who are watching to come and through and interact with us by clicking the link where you see join the conversation in the chat, hit that link and you'll be able to come live with us. How have you had to realign and readjust, Sister Mutt? You know what I'm saying, in life or in your professions, since this whole lockdown situation?
Yeah, well, when the lockdown first started, yeah, it was an interesting dynamic for my children. So my children were in school at the time. I've always kind of been keen to home educate, to be fair, but I've also raised my children with the knowledge of academics and go get your grades, yeah, go blast this thing. My eldest is like a top student, like go for it, yeah. And so it was disheartening for all of them because my eldest was just in his first year of uni at the time. I've got a little one who'd not long started school just before that, and one who was going to be going off to secondary school this year, right? So they're all at different stages of their education. So it was tricky initially, but you know what I did say to my children, because my smaller ones were my middle one in particular it was hard for him to grasp that, because like they're at that age, where it's like I'm going into secondary school, it's a big thing. And I said to him, look, I don't know how this is going to play out, but however it's going to go, yeah, we're going to make it fun, yeah. And so fun has been at the, if it's not fun, we're not doing it. That's the ethos at home, yeah. And then I could already foresee lockdown after lockdown happening, so I decided, you know what, it might be better emotionally for them, emotional well-being, to actually just take them out of school and actually just so I now officially home educate them, which I love, yeah. They didn't need to really tell me, I just I was like, yes. So and now, when I went as a home educator, we do like academics, and then we'll do something practical. I'm a very practical person, like we did something the other day, we called it simple science. And when you get the vinegar and you put it in the kettle and you descale the kettle, yeah, simple science. And I made them do a write-up and pictures. And I said, right, because these are the things that they're going to know. Right. I said, these are the things, look, if I get old, I told them this, I said, look, if I'm old, yeah, and I don't know what I'm doing when I'm old, I want to see that picture and know how to descale a kettle, yeah. So they've had to do diagrams and stuff, and we've made it fun. And to be fair, I'm very much into personal development. I'm very much into keeping my vibration high. Right. In terms of the things that I do and the community that I'm around. I'm blessed to have a lovely community around me. So far as I'm concerned, it's a bit like if somebody put you in prison, yeah, you'd have to be either able, you'd have your mind, depending on where your mindset is, it's going to be a make or break situation, yeah. And my whole thing is, yeah, we've got to make this, yeah. This could be the making of a lot of us. One of the things that's advantageous as a community is that our community historically have dealt with worse than this.
Yes.
So therefore, as tough as this is, we are extremely resilient. Yeah. So ride this wave, yeah, because we're resilient.
Most definitely, family. All right, some positive advice there. Once again, the link is in the chat. Yeah, if you want to come through and speak to or interact with Sister Mut or myself. This is the first Quarantine Convos for the year, and I should let you know, as you saw in the advert, that we're basically doing Quarantine Convos every Thursday at 7 p.m. So we're going to be right, Yasso, every Thursday at 7 p.m. Every Thursday at 7 p.m. You can find us Quarantine Convos. And this year, for the foreseeable future, we're going to be focusing, on health and wellness, for our Quarantine Convos. Health and wellness in all its manifestations. Every now and then we'll take a detour. One of the detours I'm looking forward to, because I want to do a film called Judas and the Black Messiah was recently released, and it's about Fred Hampton and the activities of the Black Panther Party. So I want to do a review, live on GotkushTV, and we're going to arrange that, in the coming weeks as well. So that's not that, but that's even that is to do with health and wellness. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, because I don't know about you, Sister Mut, but when I watch films, that are about our experience, it can be very traumatizing, especially because most of the time what is on the screen is not necessarily positive or representing thing proper. So I walk out the thing feeling vexed, you know what I'm saying, like and dreaming of what it would have been if I had written this film or whatever, you know what I'm saying. And I don't know if you experience that kind of vibes, Sister Mut, but doing those kind of review process is actually a form of therapy sometimes, because when you're looking at the world from a particular kind of perspective, and that it's like you're always under attack, and so sometimes you just need to connect with other like minds, to reinforce and debrief and go through certain kinds of therapy. I don't know if you're feeling what I'm saying.
I am. I mean, like when the Mangrove came out, that for me that's a big one, because my parents, I'm a Lovers Rock baby. Yeah. So I come from that era.
Wait, hold on. You have to clarify what you mean when you say Lovers Rock baby, because I am also
we're talking Janet Kay, Carol Thompson.
No, I know what you mean, but I'm saying I'm a Lovers Rock baby because I was conceived, in the energy and the vibration of the love.
Anyway, right. Lovers Rock babies, hashtag.
Right.
Say no more. No more. I was raised in that time. So when that came up, my mother was very much like, so my father's a Rasta, and my mother is was like a British Black Panther. She had hair, all you saw was hair and a leather trench coat, and my mom, so she was a serious woman in her time, and so when that came up, I was like, it really brought up something for me. It was like, okay, I really got a sense of that time, even if she hadn't communicated it like that. The way that was depicted and portrayed in a very powerful way, that I got to really get a sense of what was going on at that time. Because then Bob Marley passed away, and that was a big thing in my family at the time, and my neighbors where we lived, all my neighbors were playing Bob Marley through the night. You understand what I'm saying? When he passed away, those kinds of memories, and the Black love, the Black Lovers Rock experience, and that time, you can't even, the blues, the love, the love between your parents, the love between the elders. You can't even imagine what young people these days can't even imagine what that's like, because most of our homes are broken. You understand what I'm saying? So those kinds of things make a difference to me. I think, I do, certain movies certainly do touch me, and certain pieces do touch me.
Was you one of the people that was vexed after watching Lovers Rock?
Oh, please. Don't listen. Please listen.
Yeah, it was a lot.
Don't let me go there. Don't let me go.
Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it for a sec, because I don't think I've said anything on this yet, at least not publicly anyway. Let's talk about this for a sec. So for me personally, right, I got what he was trying to do. I got what he was trying to do, and I even when I realized, okay, he's not gonna do a beginning, middle, and end story. What he's gonna try and do is bring us into the experience of the dance. And I thought, when I realized that, I thought that is a good way to go. Yeah, I like that. All right. So and I got that very quickly because he started with the sound man, them setting up the sound. You know what I'm saying? And so there weren't no real dialogue. It was just people interacting. And I thought, okay, I see where he's going. This is a good way to go. That was when I first started watching it. Yeah. Let's get into it. I'm saying, okay. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I think for most people, it was when you get to the point at which of silly games, yeah, and you're like, all right, it was necessary. We was expecting it, but they already sang it in the kitchen, like prior to, right? So then it was when the tune finished now. The tune got rewind about 3 times, right? Then the tune finished, and the people them sing back all the song. And we're thinking, okay, like, yeah, you know what I mean? So from that point, I'm thinking, all right, I got what he was trying to do, but if you're gonna do that concept, there's so many things that you could have done that would have made it more authentic and put a bit more into what we're seeing on the screen. For example, yeah, I grew up around DJs and sound man, yeah, and there's so much dynamics around the sound that could have been displayed. Like, I want to know who are the box boy, I want to know who are the engineer, I want to know who are the primary selector, the secondary selector, yeah, and who is I want to know these things, yeah. You know what I'm saying? You know, none of the sound man them didn't seem to have a woman in the dance. Normally, sound man they walk with them woman, yeah. If them, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, there's certain woman that come to the dance because them connected to the sound man, right? You know what I'm saying? You know, there's little things like that. You know what I mean? So I just felt like, yeah, there was a lot missing. You know, in the vibration. I don't know if you want to add to this. This little.
Yeah, I mean, I used to follow Coxon when I was quite young.
Oh, you mean?
Yeah, well, so it for me when I saw, you know, when they tried to look, I don't want to compared to Mangrove. It was, you know, it was a completely different dynamic. It was like 2 different people made the show, right? And I think for me it was when you started to. I mean, I know, like you say, I know Silly Games, Janet K's Silly Games is iconic, but when you used it like that, you diluted it.
Yes.
And then on top of it, you had, then you wanted to put the dub in there, and then you got the Rasta man lying on the floor and having an episode.
I've never seen that. Like, no, I've been in rituals, yeah. Like, so there are certain, I'm saying that there are certain rituals you might see something like that, but in a dance of that nature, people will jump and get, you know what I'm saying, rare. But there was something not quite authentic about what was going on.
Because it wouldn't have happened. You see, even if it was to happen at all, it would have not happened in a lovers rock dance.
Right.
Even it would have happened if it was ever going to happen. It would have happened in a dub environment. So they're totally separate. You wouldn't mix the two. You wouldn't put the two together. You wouldn't. No woman after that. If a man's lying on the floor and having an episode, you're not gonna dance with him after that. You're not. You're gonna walk.
I hear you. Yeah, I just think, you know, I get the impression that that brother Steve is not particularly experienced in the rubber dub you know, side of life. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, we just have to, you know what I'm saying. But having said that, I thought the best of the series for me is between Mangrove and Education. Yeah, so the first and the last one.
That was all right. Yeah, that was pretty good. Yeah. I mean, to be fair, you know, he did give, you know, Stephen Queen, he did actually give a you know, a kind of post synopsis after it. You know, he did speak out afterwards. He did want to get a feedback because he did get quite a lot of feedback. And in fairness, he did make a statement that, you know, if we wanted to kind of like more people wanted to kind of give him a sense of, you know, its authenticity, and that's okay. I mean, at the end of the day, it could have been it would have been hard to research, to be fair.
I respect that. I totally respect that. I didn't actually know that he had said that. But you say I respect it. He's not sulking. He's not going. You know what I'm saying? He just say, well, yeah. And I think that's part of the job. If you want to be a filmmaker and depict certain things, you have to take in people's experience. And so respect to the brother for taking that stance. You know what I'm saying? Kings and Queens, the link is in the chat. Last call. Link is in the chat if you want to come live and speak to myself and Sister Mo, who will be our co-host for Quarantine Convos going forward. Next week, I should share with you, we have Sister Tierney Cherie, And a very, very interesting topic that we're going to be addressing. Sister Tierney Cherie is a scholar, warrior, activist living in the United States of America. And she, as well as being one of the chairs of an organization called We Charge Colonialism, is also an attorney. And so, being an attorney, she has certain levels of expertise, and she's published a new book recently entitled Fostering False Identity: The Child Welfare System's Design of Social Control of the Black Family. Once again, Fostering False Identity: The Child Welfare System's Design of Social Control of the Black Family. The link to view is already in our video, so you can check that out. But very, very interesting topic. Yeah, very, very interesting topic, and one that is often neglected, yeah, among us in our community in general, and in the conscious community in particular. You know, this idea of child rearing, and the child care, yeah, you know what I'm saying, institutions, right, in the society and their impact. Yeah, so we're going to be looking forward to having that conversation with Sister Tierney next week. So stay tuned for that. Right. Sorry, just a point from a reflection from you, Sister Mo, just based upon that. Like, what does that title say to you? When I say what's it called? Let me just read that one more time. 1 second. It says Fostering False Identity: The Child Welfare System's Design of Social Control of the Black Family. Like, just give me a reflection on that title.
Well, when I hear that, I also hear about the housing system. Yeah, because the housing system, how it is a construct, a racial construct, you know, to put us in particular areas, demographics on top of each other. And these things can foster, you know, cultural disparities, if you like. Yeah. And so I think it'd be interesting to have a conversation with her and go further and go deeper into that, because if you know, you're starting in the home setting, but those things also seep out into obviously like education, the nursery setting, you know, where you live, how you're judged, if a woman is, I'll say, on benefits or not, or welfare or not, how she's treated within the education system or the housing system. So I'm going to be really interested in hearing her points.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So we're looking forward to that. Yeah, we are looking forward to that. And more announcements to come in terms of Quarantine Convos. Why is it important for us to be focusing on health and wellness right now, Sister Mo, for Quarantine Convos?
Well, I think, you know, the mental health of people at the moment, a lot of people are struggling. That's the truth. Yeah, let's just be real. This is alien to most people. Most people haven't been in a situation like this, and if you are a person who, you know, you spend a lot of time outside of the home, and your work is outside of the home, or you have a lot of external factors, like you go out a lot, you're quite social, and you don't maybe even have the balance, or you haven't created that balance of, you know, being able to be with self, yeah, and accepting your environment that you have as, you know, as a kind of haven for yourself. It can be difficult, because a lot of people, you know, if there are a lot of externals outside the home that they use to nourish them, this situation can tip people into a different mind space. And so I think Quarantine Convos, the importance of Quarantine Convos at this stage, especially we're in, I don't know, lockdown 2 and 3, yeah. I think, and you know, who knows where we're going after that. You know, the conversation for our emotional, our spiritual well-being becomes really, really paramount right now. You know, a lot of people are not going outside. Some people are shielding. Everybody's in different spaces as to how they think. You know, it's all. What I do know is this situation is creating a very divisive state. Yeah, within society, within homes, within families, and it's about maintaining your well-being and your mental health, because however this is going to go, keep your mind in check.
Yes. Most definitely. Well, sis, you're going to be one of our co-hosts, helping to shape this show. And we're in the process of booking a number of guests here. But just give our listeners an idea, viewers an idea of the kind of things that you think that we should be dealing with, that we're going to be dealing with through the guests that we bring on throughout quarantine.
Well, there's lots of different things. I mean, there's, people in the community, if we, funerals are coming up. Those are the reality. For some families, funerals, even if it's not their family, it's another family, or someone they know, someone's passed away. How, not being able to go to funerals anymore in the same way, not having any, having much autonomy over how they go. So, looking at people who like a celebrant, who deals with the bespoke services of in our community around that kind of thing. And I think we're looking at psychologists, healers. People have relationships to their body now. They're at home with themselves more, so they may be able to even get a sense of, okay, I thought I was fit, but I'm not. I thought I was healthy or I was a little bit more a little bit more less tired, or they might be finding they have more energy now, but they might have found that they're having less energy now. So it's about lots of different things for the well-being. We're looking at comedy as well. Laughter is a really important thing. Have fun during this time. I'll give you an example. New Year's, right? So it's New Year's Eve, and I always go out New Year's Eve. That's the only time either that and my Earth Day. And I go out New Year's Eve, and I usually go out, and I didn't. So I was like, okay, you know what? I am going to have a good New Year's Eve. Yeah. It's like I'm done with, however this is going to go. And so I'm invited to someone's New Year's Eve Zoom. And there's an event online with lots of different rooms with lots of different DJs, and I literally have my two phones going at once and I'm having my own personal party. Yeah. And I'm having a good going into 2021. I'm having a good one. Yeah. I'm up till 4 a.m. I'm raving in my kitchen. You're going to have to raise your vibration right now, because you have to choose between fear, yeah, and if you like, hope or purpose or power. Fear in itself, in my field as well, fear is an industry. Yeah. And therefore, it's important not to feed that industry. Yeah. And if you weren't dealing with fear, what would you be dealing with? In fact, fear and excitement have, if you like, the same chemical compound. So it's a choice. Fear becomes a choice. Yeah. Yes, fear or excitement. So get excited. Yeah. Get excited about, this is an opportunity for you to, I say to certain sisters who have a conversation with me, I say, hone in on your craft, hone in on your skill set. I say it to the men as well, hone in on your skills right now. Yeah. Really, this is a time to cultivate. Yeah. And build new seeds into your life, and then plant new seeds into the minds of your children, and cultivate new skills. You might actually get to see lots of strengths. I know that I found particular strengths in myself that I didn't know I had before. I'll give you an example. I only bake. I put my hand up. I only bake when I'm happy. Yeah. Baking, I'm like, okay, but what happened in the first lockdown is that I was cooking so much all the time. The children, remember, they're not at school now, so they see me cook, to the point where my youngest says to me, Mom, I want to be a chef. So I'm like, okay. So now, we just made some bakes today. Yeah, I'm getting these ambition. We just make some bakes. And we actually food coloring in them, right? I literally did food science today. We put food coloring in all of them. So we made like a purple bake, blue bake.
No, dumpling system, yeah.
I say bakes, boy.
No. Dumpling, we say, all right?
Bakes, boy.
Dumpling.
I say bakes.
Bake is something that you do, right? It's a
verb. Man.
It's not a noun. Dumpling it in.
So yeah, we just had fun today, and we took pictures today. We're like, okay, you know what, we've got a blue bake, a purple bake, a red bake. And I said, but what I did with it, because again, it's also about making it fun. So I said, okay, our children sometimes are like, oh my god, you're making me a green smoothie, or give me green food, oh my gosh. So I said, okay, understanding food coloring is understand the natural food coloring. And if you closed your eyes, because at first he was like, oh, I don't know if I'll eat this. And I said, but if you closed your eyes, would you eat it? Because it actually tastes the same as a normal bake. It just had your food coloring in it. So it's getting them to make a choice, a conscious choice over food. And also, this is an opportunity for me to teach them about food colorings. Yeah. So if I do it myself and I set it up, then I can say, right, now look for the food colorings. Look at this. Okay, that's got colorings in it. Does it need it? Do you think it needs it? So it creates a dialogue. So this is a great opportunity to cultivate strengths. Such a powerful time.
Most def. Give thanks for that. Kings and Queens, we're going to close up the show soon. If you've got any suggestions, however, of topics that you want us to address during Quarantine Convos, or even guests, that you think we should bring on, feel free to type that in the chat, and we're going to ask to do that every Quarantine Convos, and we'll take your recommendations under advisement, Kings and Queens, under advisement. All right, so get yours in very quickly. If you have any suggestions, for guests or topics that should be addressed on Quarantine Convos. We're back, and we are black, and we are gotkushTV. This is our first live for 2021. Do stay tuned, for all things gotkushTV, because big things are gone. More of the shows that you know and love. We've got, more episodes of Decipher coming soon. And even some new shows, I'm not going to talk up the world of things, you'll find out, Kings and Queens. But the main thing you need to know right about now is that you can sign up to become a member of gotkushtv.com. All episodes of Kush Community will be there. All the footage, and restreams from all of our events that took place last year, including Blacktricity, the international blockbuster that has been shelling down the whole world. Right about now, Kings and Queens, you can watch that live on gotkushTV.com. Final word from you, Sister Mut. I'm saying, give the listeners a final word from yourself.
Well, look, I just want to say thank you for having me on. I no doubt other conversations will come up around birth and those kinds of wonderful things as we go along. We haven't actually spoken much about me being a free birther, which would be another interesting conversation. But that's cool. That's all. You can't give everything at once. I appreciate being on the show, but I'm really looking forward to the Quarantine Convos, being with yourself, and creating that duality in conversation and dialogue and reasoning. So looking forward to this journey.
Well, most definitely, in our ancestral traditions, we explicitly deal with the masculine and feminine balance, and so look forward to manifesting that in the midst of the hosting of Quarantine Convos, and we'll work on your pronunciation of dumpling. All right, Kings and Queens, this is Quarantine Convos, gotkushTV, the first of 2021, health and wellness edition. Do stay tuned. I might drop a little preview, might be a little preview for you at the end of this show after the trailers, so do stay tuned. And we welcome Sister Mut as a co-host of Quarantine Convos to get used to the face. You're going to see, and the voice, you're going to see and hear it a lot more. Always remember, you ain't got nothing if you ain't got kush. Blacktricity, gotkushTV's exclusive free Kwanzaa showcase is now available for you to watch absolutely free. In conjunction with Ghana, the On the Return series, we have brought the African diaspora experience directly to you. To watch this monumental event absolutely free, simply register for membership at gotkushtv.com and you will receive access to Blacktricity as well as more exclusive content, including Reggie Rockstone, Yusufu Jallo, VVN, Malachi Selassie, Daddy Makes Dough, Tods, King Wiz, Tubada, Ras Ashiba, Mama Sia, Brother Leader Bandaka, Israel, Sister Moot, Carla Marie, Yemaya Sankofa, Goldflow, and a special Voyage to Motherland panel discussion. All this and more, hosted by Nat Nye and Stella B. Register now at gotkushTV.com.
It's in Africa called Kush, Timbuktu, where every race came to get booked. My success to you, even if you wish me the opposite. Sooner or later, we'll all see who the prophet is.
Greetings and welcome to gotkushTV's Blacktricity. Blacktricity. gotkushTV is UK's #1 Black conscious platform with flagship shows such as
Decipher,
Wordsmith,
Voyage to Motherland,
and much more, which you can find at www.gotkushtv.com.
and subscribe to our channel, gotkushTV.
And follow us on our many social media outlets at gotkushTV. Blacktricity is gotkushTV's official pre-Kwanzaa celebration.
In partnership with Ghana's Beyond the Return program, we are honoured to showcase an array of wonderful talents.
Yes, and hosted by your power couple, Stella B
and Nat Nye. Blacktricity is all about the current that runs through everything we do, from our intellect that builds nations, our rhythm that moves the body, and how our spirituality inspires and heals. Tonight, we are one Africa.
Tonight, we are bringing life to the party.
Tonight, we celebrate our Ghanaian brothers and sisters who have opened their arms and welcomed the African diaspora back home. Thank you.
Thank you. And this is Blacktricity.
Enjoy, full joy, and have a blissful one.
Kicking off, we'd like to welcome to the stage
Ras Ashaba. As this is an African-centered event, it is only right that we start by libation. Ras Ashaba will be welcoming our ancestors to join us on this special occasion.
Greetings, family. Greetings. I greet you in the name of His Imperial Majesty, Haile Selassie. But I greet you also in the energy and the vibes of all of those ancestors that came and stood up for African unification, because that's why we're here today, right? A man called Marcus Garvey made a mark on the Ghanaian flag. He left a sign, a symbol there for us to know, to set the path for us to follow, to be able to find and gain knowledge of ourselves. And metaphorically return through the door of no return. So today, we do this as a reconnection of those things that were separated, bringing back together again. Like Kwame Nkrumah said, I'm not an African because I'm born in Africa, but because Africa is born in I and I. And this is the thing we must remember. It's about the whole of Africa, the unification of Africa. All of those that came before us, His Majesty, Nkrumah, and so everyone that came, that's what they were about before us. They were like the unification of the one. And we can't stop fighting for that. We can't stop working towards that. You get what I'm saying? Because we can't underestimate the works that's already been done to get this far. So when we send this vibration out from here, it's got to move mountains, you understand what I'm saying? Have to shake the earth. Elephant walk. Yeah? All right. So give thanks that we can do this thing. We give thanks to We give thanks to the creative forces of the universe. Ashe. Male, female, mother, father, daughter, son, auntie, uncle, grandmother, grandfather, great, 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 great ancestors. This is an amazing time. We have to tune into the changes that are happening in our environment, yeah? Because these are the things that are going to liberate us. Ashe. What did Marcus say? We wouldn't know ourselves till our back is against the wall, right? We didn't know ourselves till our back is against the wall. Now is the time that we know ourselves, so let us know ourselves once and for all. Ashe. Let self-knowledge be our norm. Ashe. No new normal, let self-knowledge be our norm. Yeah, Ashe. All right. So we do this for those who come before us. Ashe. We do this for those in transition. Those in transition. Special mention of Clary Mendez. Clary Mendez. You know about the Mendez. You know, yeah? Warrior energies. Ashe. We need those warrior energies. We need those healing energies. Ashe. We need those teachers. We need the love to come back amongst each other. Burn the distrust and build the love. Ashe. We do this for the health and prosperity of the living. Ashe. And we do this for those who are yet to come. Ashe. Rise, you mighty people. Rise, you mighty people. When the rhythm changes, so does the dance. Ashe. Youth of creation, we are top, a little bit more, don't be top. Now we call it for back up. You know, little try pattern. Now we see sitting there in the top. Take away your bread and your water. Try to love excuses to run.
They called it the door of no return. Little did they know of the eternal fire that burns within our DNA, and every ebb and flow of the waves upon which those dungeons sailed encoded our rhythm within its current. Our palms retain few secret language of the drum. Our tongues continue to call the names Nyankapong, Asasaya, Nananom, Kwekua, and Nancy preserve the wisdom from generation to generation. As our footsteps caress plantations, we danced until the coming of Nana of the Maroons. Lost Ashanti Ga, Ewe Cromanti with the vision of Chief Taki. We will fight until the last of us dies on the battlefield. Ya Asante was called, resonated on the breeze. Hoya Komso, Bosti Azonto, celebrate your Africanness with ease. Medicofie, I am going home to reclaim my golden throne. Generate energy through rhythm, movement, and vocal tones. And this energy is like the connection from Tenkamenim to the Osajifo. We don't respect neo-colonial borders, and thus we are not African because we are born in Africa. We are African because Africa is born in us. It is the current that runs through our diaspora. The world vibrates to our very pulse beat. Our rhythm moves the body. Our intellect builds nation. Our spirituality inspires and heals. Our culture keeps us connected to our source, our mama land. So when we heard the call to return, Brafie in Tem, who could deny the magnetic pull? 2 billion stars circumambulating the center of the universe. That which is in our way we not care for. We are the children of Ablewa. From mama land to diaspora, we are one Africa. Our bodies are our temple combined. We are the ultimate divinity. gotkushTV, we bring you electricity. gotkushTV, we bring you electricity. gotkushTV, we bring you electricity.
And coming up next onto the stage, we have Israel performing his mighty track, Mighty People.